This railroad never stopped running. And what does one of the most famous board games ever made have to do with it? Most Monopoly fans probably know the Baltimore and Ohio, Reading, and Pennsylvania railroads were real companies. Let's take a look at each one. The B&O Railroad, chartered in 1827, helped launch America's railroad age. It famously tested the steam locomotive Tom Thumb in 1830 against a horse, and it lost, but they still decided to go with trains. After more than 150 years, the B&O eventually became part of today's CSX system. Founded in 1833, the Reading Railroad went through a number of name changes over its history. It eventually became a coal-hauling giant. Philadelphia's famous Reading Terminal Market still carries its name today. The railroad was merged into Conrail in 1976. The Pennsylvania Railroad was founded in 1846 and eventually became known as the Standard Railroad of the world. What started as a line across Pennsylvania grew into one of the largest transportation systems ever built. The Pennsy built engineering landmarks like the Horseshoe Curve, opened New York's Penn Station, and ran famous passenger trains such as the Broadway Limited. In 1968, it merged with its longtime rival, the New York Central Railroad. The fourth Monopoly railroad, as you know, is Short Line. The creator of Monopoly never said what Short Line represented, and many people assume that Short Line was just a generic railroad name. In fact, the term Short Line has a specific meaning in railroading. A short line railroad is a smaller railroad that connects local communities and industries with the larger rail network. They are typically found in more rural areas. They connect much larger Class I railroads with smaller locations. Think of them as bridging gaps in the railroad network that the bigger railroads don't want to spend the resources to connect to. One popular theory is that Monopoly's Short Line was inspired by the Short Fast Line, an electric interurban trolley line that connected Atlantic City and Ocean City, New Jersey. Operated by the Atlantic City and Shore Railroad, it carried vacationers along the Jersey Shore. The Shore Fast Line operated for 41 years, closing in 1948 after hurricane damage and the decline of trolley travel. Today the line is gone, but millions of Monopoly players still land on Short Line without realizing they're remembering a little trolley line from the New Jersey Shore. But while the Shore Fast Line disappeared, Short Line railroads themselves did not. Today, around 600 Short Line railroads still operate across North America, including one of the most famous, the Strasburg Railroad, which is recognized as the oldest continuously operating standard gauge railroad in the Western Hemisphere. The Strasburg Railroad was chartered in 1832 to connect the town of Strasburg with the growing rail network in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. At a time when most goods still moved by wagon, the railroad gave local farmers and businesses a faster way to reach larger markets. Through the 1800s, it carried passengers, mail, farm products, and freight, becoming an important part of daily life in the region. By the 1950s, as truck and air traffic increased, the Strasburg Railroad was headed toward abandonment, like so many other railroads at the time. Local supporters purchased the line and transformed it into a steam-powered tourist railroad. Today, the Strasburg Railroad continues to operate trains, while its restoration shops rebuild and maintain historic locomotives and railroad equipment from around the country. For nearly 2 centuries, the Strasburg Railroad has survived while countless other railroads disappeared. It really is the little railroad that never stopped running.